The going rate in my area to move a vehicle, transport it, whatever you want to say, is $200 basically just to show up. So when my friend Mark transported this van for me so I could pull the transmission, I told him I owe you a favor. And apparently me owing a favor is working on a machine that I never would have touched if I didn't have to. Ugh. This thing literally has like two of the most major things going against it that I would not touch if I had to. It's got an Eaton hydro drive. It's an 11 series. Out of 88 parts in the drive, there's like 6 available if you need to buy something. On top of that, it has a Kohler opposed 17 horsepower. Yeah, that one, the Series 2. It is coil going to points, and I believe it's the one that has the dumb rod that runs through the entire engine that likes to rust and then destroy itself when you try to start it. So this is a ran when parked 2 years ago, but I'm not quite sure how I feel about that because this is the state of the gas can right now. So, ran when parked 2 years ago. I'm going to apologize right now for the camera work on this, but there's no real way I can set up a tripod to shoot this. But I wanted you guys to see just how little that rod right there moves in order to move the points right here. Also, you want to pop this off and double check that your condenser wire hasn't rotted off. So we're going to have to go and fix that. But I've got a monkey wrench on the side here. I've prepped it so that rod should just barely move. I'm going to set you guys right here and we're going to see if we can get this on camera. 3, 2, 1, turn. Right there. Did you catch it? So that is all it takes, is that rod there not moving a 1/16 of an inch, a little bit more, for everything to get stupid right here. So pop this off, grease the snot out of this, oil the snot out of it. What I've actually been using lately, I'm actually on my second case now, is SQ Mechanic Aid. You guys have made a note that you'd like me to try and find more US based products. So right in Florida is where this is mixed up. I use their brake cleaner also when I can get it by the case on Amazon. So I'll post a link for this. It's what I've been using because you guys said let's try for more American made. Now I'm going to fix that wire and then we're going to try and turn this over with a bottle. Got our new Loki Thor put into manual override mode. Really like that thing. It's come in handy. See if we can hear some ticking. Oh, I get my hand out of the way here. Here we go. Focus. There we go. Well, we know we should have spark, so I guess we're on to seeing if it'll turn over. Well, let's see if we can make it turn over. So, right now we've got a positive lead here for the ignition that we're going to leave disconnected. We just want to see if we can bump this thing over. So we're going to put this into manual and hit the ground here. I find it interesting. This is actually a full brass terminal on this thing. I also noticed that the positive terminal here is loose and corroded internally, so I'm not sure how well this is going to go. Somebody already cut off the safety switch, so let's go ahead and see if it'll even do anything with the ignition. No, nothing with the ignition. Okay, well, let's see if we can bump it directly and at least get the engine to turn over. Again, no ignition hooked up, so We're just bumping it to see if we can make it mad. Okay, so we can make it mad. 5 seconds to add some context to why it is I sound so relieved just then. That starter is embedded in the frame rail of this particular unit. It is not a matter of a couple of bolts in order to remove it and replace it. You have to pull the entire stupid engine. So, this is a big turning point of positivity on this project. The fact that I do not have to monkey with that starter. Anyways, back to my Kohler help. So because this has a positive independent lead for the coil, I'm going to wire this to this. So I've got alligator clips here. And then I'm going to reach inside of this and clip my alligator clip on the lead that's in here. So now I can touch this, but the ignition's going to stay live, and in theory we should be able to get it to run. So we'll give it some bottle. We've got the choke freed up and on right now. And let's see if we can manage to upset things. Whoop. Come on. You can do it. Stay on there. Okay. This is a fiasco. Let's try this again. Oh, we thought about it. Alright, I might have too much gas in it, so let's hit it again, see if it'll burn off some fumes. Okay, let me get this wiring disconnected, because right now we have a always hot going on, and this is how you destroy booster packs. Let me hit the off button. There, now that's safe. And I'm going to let all the dust clear, because that was disgusting right in my face. Okay, I've had a talk with the owner of this machine. What we're going to do is, if I can manage to get it running and verify that it will actually drive, we're going to swap out the ignition system so it's a push button, and swap the PTO switch out so that it is a ignition kill, ignition off. And that way, if we run from the ignition kill to the push button, in order to provide positive feed, there is no way that you can leave this coil on and boil it over. I ended up having to change out for a booster with much longer leads to make it from the battery over to there so that we could bump it. So let's see what it'll do. Well, I guess it's a good thing I didn't have to emergency rip that out, because I apparently stuffed that in there a little too good. Alright, it runs. So, off camera, I'm going to take the 5 seconds to check the voltage that's on the battery, see if I can figure out where the charge lead is coming off the rectifier, go from that charge lead to the positive here, refire the machine, and check to see if I end up with an increase in voltage coming into the battery. So we saw that 13 point whatever, so now if we touch this, we should see less than 13, 12.7. So we were able to go from right there where it comes out of the rectifier, go right directly to the battery terminal and verify that it's charging. And there is a lot of smoke coming out, and it smells like cooked mouse crap. One last hood check to make sure that it closes. Then we got to install some buttons in here. This is temporarily mounted so that way Mark can mount it wherever he wants permanently. He had talked about either putting a winch on the front or putting a recovery winch on the back, which means most likely the solenoid assembly would live somewhere under the dash right in here. So this is just temp mounted so that he can put it wherever he wants it to be permanently. We've got the battery strapped in, a piece of inner tube over the top so we don't wear into the top of it, and we've got our wiring going on here. So we took that and we ran back with it until we found the lead that was coming off of it, which is this positive lead here. That lead goes up through, goes through the amp meter, comes back down through, and connects to this side of the toggle switch. We've got a pigtail coming off here. One side of the pigtail goes to the push button. The other side goes to the trigger on the solenoid. On the other side of the pigtail, we have one side going to the lights. Yes, the headlights actually do function on this thing. I was quite surprised. The other side of that we have running to our ignition over here. So right now, if we push this, nothing happens. But if we flip that and then flip the switch, there we go. And if we give it some choke, it actually should, in theory, start. Maybe a little less choke. There it goes. There we go. Clean it up a little bit, take it for a quick test drive.
You get on that the same way you get on a horse, if only you weren't afraid of horses.
I can shut this off when it misbehaves. I can't shut a horse off when it misbehaves. Okay. Toggle. Choke. Push button. Less choke. Well, that's not cool. Why is the carburetor leaning out? Oh, you know what? I installed a fuel shut-off. I bet I've never turned it on. Mark likes fuel shutoffs on everything. I hate them. But I installed it because it's somebody else's machine, and I bet that's what it is. Okay, the hydro pedal needs a little bit of love. Not my problem. I actually wanted to stop with the two of these parked next to each other because they're almost the same exact year. So I wanted you guys to see the size comparison between the two. These originally, a lot of them came with Kohlers also, but this one started out as a twin cylinder Briggs, whereas this has the stupid dumb push rod whatever. You know, every brand has its good engines and it has its bad engines and it has its loves and its hates. This one happens to be my hatred. The Briggs twins, other than the stupid coils being dumb every once in a while, were pretty unkillable. I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment down below. That way Jessie can go back inside because she's cold and I bet the camera is vibrating now.